Hi everyone, I'm Z from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you the Bingling lamp. From Bloom and Dream. The lampshade of this lamp is crocheted with high quality yarn. Featuring fresh and sweet colors. There are also shiny pendants below, which further highlight the delicate and romantic design of this lamp. The lamp base and other accessories are made of excellent materials. It's very practical, and is the perfect choice for home decoration. If you need to purchase the original material kit, and receive crocheting guidance, please search for the shop on Taobao, Susan's family. Direct link to the shop. Now let's get to the main topic. This lamp consists of the lampshade and the lamp base. The lampshade includes the lampshade edge frame, white gauze and the main fabric piece. First, complete the crocheting of the main fabric piece. Install the hanging decorations and secure the white gauze. Then attach the main fabric piece to the lampshade edge frame. Finally secure the entire lampshade to the lamp base. The main fabric piece is made by joining motifs around the sides and top. Finish with edging at the bottom. Let's start learning the crochet method for the motifs. Check the pattern chart. Each motif begins with a magic ring technique. Work counterclockwise outward in rounds. After all motifs are completed, they need to be joined together. The stitch techniques used include chain, single crochet, slip stitch, DC2 puff, TR2 tog in 1, SC2 in 1 and 3 SC in 1. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with a foundation chain. To make it clearer for everyone, I'm using chunky yarn in a contrasting color for demonstration. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size are introduced in the detail page of our product and the chart. Before starting the actual crocheting, first learn the basic posture for crocheting. Pick up the yarn with your right hand. Wrap the yarn around your left index finger twice. 1, 2. There are 3 strands of yarn above. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch where the loops overlap. Take the loop. Then take the end of the yarn around your little finger. Thread it through between the middle finger and index finger. Transfer the loop to between the middle finger and thumb of your left hand. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. The hook moves between these 2 points. Insert the hook into the loop. Position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw the yarn through. Make a chain stitch to secure. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Gently tighten. Look everyone. This is what the magic ring looks like when completed. Start the first round. Refer to the chart. Work 1 chain as the turning chain for single crochet. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. The beginning chain does not count as a stitch. Next, into the magic ring loop. Work a single crochet. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. 2 loops remain on the hook. Yarn over. And draw through in once. 1 single crochet is completed. There's a V shape formed by 2 yarns at the top right of the single crochet. This is the stitch of a single crochet. 1 stitch represents 1 single crochet. On this stitch, place a stitch marker to mark it. Convenient for finding the slip stitch position later. If no stitch marker is available, you can use a safety pin or paperclip instead. Continue in this large space. Work another single crochet. Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over. Draw through the 2 loops on hook. Second single crochet completed. This round requires 8 single crochets in total. Repeat this process. Continue in this large space. Work single crochets. 3 stitches. 4 stitches. 5 stitches. 6 stitches. 7 stitches. 8 stitches. Once completed, you can check the stitch count again. Next, close the magic ring. Move the crocheted part to the right. There are 2 loops here. First, gently pull the yarn tail. At this point, there is 1 moving loop. Tighten this moving loop first. One loop remains. Pull the yarn tail tight directly. This way, the loop is closed. Finally, at the stitch of the first single crochet, which is the marker spot, make a slip stitch to join. Insert the hook. That is, pick up these 2 strands. Yarn over, pull through all loops at once. Slip stitch completed. This V shape. Is the braid formed by the slip stitch? Since this slip stitch does not count as a stitch, tighten. Otherwise, it's easy to crochet extra stitches later. Leave the starting yarn tail for now. We'll hide it while crocheting the edges. Look. This is what the motif looks like after completing the first round. Continue to the second round. Refer to the chart. Similarly, make a chain stitch as the turning chain for single crochet. The beginning chain does not count as a stitch. Next, at the same position where you just slip stitched, which is the stitch of the first single crochet from the previous round, work a single crochet. Yarn tail over your hook. Wrap it into stitches while crocheting. Then, in this single crochet stitch, place a stitch marker to mark the spot. Then, chain 13. Complete. Continue in the same position. Work another single crochet. Don't forget to weave in the ends. For convenience of explanation, we'll work one single crochet on a single crochet stitch from the previous round. 13 chains and 1 single crochet are considered as one cluster. Continue on the adjacent single crochet on the left side. Work another cluster. First work a single crochet. Then chain 13. In the same position, work another single crochet. Second cluster completed. Next, using the same method, pick up the stitch, work clusters one by one. Complete this round. One stitch left. Perfectly work the last cluster. You can cut the excess tail directly. After finishing the last cluster, don't slip stitch for now. Now, let me show you how to tell the right side from the wrong side. Wrong side of the motif. First round position. There are horizontal lines like this. The right side doesn't have them. If you can't tell them apart, you can also mark any position on the right side. Make a mark. Look. This is what the motif looks like after completing the second round. Start the third round. Refer to the chart. First, make a slip stitch into the first single crochet of the previous round. Join with a slip stitch. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Pull through once. Slightly tighten this slip stitch. Not too tight, and not too loose. No need to place a stitch marker here. Next, crochet 6 chains. Complete. Into the large chain space of the previous round. Crochet 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, Then, crochet 6 chains. Complete. Into the stitch of the single crochet below. Make a slip stitch to join. Gently tighten slightly. The pattern for this round of crochet is on a cluster of the previous round. First on the right, into the stitch of this single crochet, make a slip stitch. Then crochet 6 chains. Next, into the large space, crochet 3 single crochets. Then crochet 6 chains. Finally, on the single crochet on the left, make another slip stitch. Next, follow the same pattern. Continue crocheting. Complete this round. After finishing the last cluster, break the yarn. Make a chain stitch to secure. Stretch the loop. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut off. Pull tight. This is equivalent to making a knot for securing. Look at this. This is what the motif looks like after completing the third round. The yarn tail here. Follow the texture of the fabric. Weave it into the wrong side. You can also weave in a few more stitches. Then cut off the excess tail. Continue learning the crocheting method for the fourth round. First, refer to the chart. Take out the yarn in the corresponding color for this round. You need to join the yarn first. Make a slip knot with the yarn. Slightly tighten the loop. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail here. Next, take the previously crocheted first 3 rounds. With the right side facing you, meaning the side without horizontal lines. above any petal. Find the stitch in the middle of these 3 single crochets. Insert the hook into this stitch. Pull the new yarn loop through. Work a chain stitch to secure. Tighten the yarn tail. Joining the yarn is complete. Start crocheting the 4th round. Similarly, make a beginning chain stitch. The beginning chain does not count as a stitch. Next, in the same stitch where you joined the yarn, work a single crochet. Mark the stitch. Once completed, chain 5 to join. After completing 5 chains, find the adjacent petal on the left side. Specifically the middle stitch of the top single crochet. On this stitch, first, make a DC2 puff. Yarn over once. Insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over, pull the yarn through. 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. This is an incomplete double crochet. Continue in the same position, make the second incomplete double crochet. Yarn over once. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. The second incomplete double crochet is done. Then, yarn over, pull through all the loops on your hook. This is a DC2 puff bobble stitch, later referred to as a bobble stitch. Corresponding to the upper right, there's also a V-shaped stitch. 1 stitch represents 1 stitch. Next, work 2 chains to join. This bobble stitch is in the same insertion position. Work a Pt2 tog in 1. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. 3 loops remain. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. This is an incomplete treble crochet. At the same insertion position, work another incomplete treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat twice. One, 2. The second incomplete treble crochet is completed. Next, yarn over, and draw through in once. This is a Pt2 tog in 1. Abbreviated as treble crochet bobble stitch later. Similarly, there's a V-shaped stitch in the upper right. Once completed, Chain 2 to join. Continue at the same insertion position. Crochet another bobble stitch, which means first make 2 incomplete double crochets. One, 2. Then yarn over and draw through in once. Another bobble stitch is done. For convenience, we'll refer to the bobble stitches on both sides, and the treble crochet bobble stitch in the middle, and 2 chain stitches connected on each side, as a bobble stitch group. After completing the bobble stitch group, chain 5 to join. Once done, on the adjacent petal on the left side, also in the middle single crochet stitch, work a single crochet. Then, chain 5 to join. On the adjacent petal on the left side, also in the middle single crochet stitch, work another bobble stitch group, which means working a DC3 bobble. Two chain stitches to join. At the same insertion point, a treble crochet bobble stitch. First work 2 incomplete treble crochets. Yarn over and draw through in once. Once completed, continue with 2 chain stitches to join. At the same insertion point, work another DC3 bobble. Then, 5 chain stitches to join. You can see, on this type of petal, we alternately crocheted single crochets and bobble stitch groups. And the single crochets and bobble stitch groups are connected with 5 chain stitches. Next, follow the same method. Continue working alternately single crochets and bobble stitch groups at the middle stitch of each petal, and work 5 chain stitches to join. Complete this round. After finishing the last bobble stitch group, 5 chain stitches to join. Then work a slip stitch in the first single crochet, join with a slip stitch. The slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Pull tight. Look, this is what the motif looks like after completing the 4th round. Continue to crochet the 5th round of the motif. Refer to the chart. Chain 1 as beginning chain. Next, In the same insertion point as the slip stitch, work a single crochet increase, meaning 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Work 2 single crochets. First, work a single crochet. Place the yarn tail over your hook. Crochet while wrapping it into the stitches. 1. Similarly, in the first stitch, mark the stitch. 2. Meaning you've added 1 stitch. Once completed, in this chain space, work 5 single crochets. Don't forget to hide the yarn tail. Reaching the bobble stitch cluster position from the previous round, on this bobble stitch, work 1 single crochet. Then in this chain space, work 2 single crochets. On the treble crochet bobble stitch, work 3 single crochets in 1 stitch, meaning in this stitch, work 3 single crochets. One, 2. On the second stitch, place a stitch marker to mark it. 3. 3 single crochets in 1 stitch completed, which adds 2 stitches. In the chain space on the left side, work 2 single crochets again. On the double crochet bobble stitch, work a single crochet. You can see, we've worked a total of 9 single crochets on this bobble stitch cluster. Continue in the large chain space on the left side. Work 5 single crochets. Next, when you encounter a single crochet, work a single crochet on the single crochet increase, which means working 2 single crochets in the same stitch. When you encounter such a large chain space, work 5 single crochets. When you encounter a bobble stitch cluster, refer to the crocheting pattern mentioned earlier, which means sequentially working 1 single crochet on the bobble stitch. In the chain space, work 2 single crochets. On the treble crochet bobble stitch, work 3 single crochets in 1 stitch, which means working 3 single crochets in the same stitch. On the second stitch, place a stitch marker to mark it. Once completed, in the chain space, work 2 single crochets. On the double crochet bobble stitch, 1 single crochet. Next, follow this pattern. Continue crocheting. Complete this round. Pay attention. Single crochet 3 in 1 at the corners. On the middle stitch, place a stitch marker to mark it. Convenient for finding the increase position later. Once the 5 single crochets in the last chain space are completed, on the first stitch, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Look everyone. The 5th round of the motif is completed. Continue to crochet the 6th round. Refer to the chart. Chain 1 as beginning chain. At the same position as the slip stitch, work a single crochet. If you can identify the first single crochet position later, you don't need to place a stitch marker here. Next, starting from the adjacent single crochet on the left side, continue to pick up stitches evenly. Work single crochets all the way down to the stitch before the stitch marker. When you reach the stitch marker position, on the stitch where the stitch marker is placed, work a 3SC in 1. You can remove the stitch marker now. Once completed, continue starting from the adjacent stitch on the left side. Work single crochets evenly. Whenever you encounter a stitch marker, at the marker spot, work a 3SC in 1. Work single crochets in all other positions. Following this pattern, complete the round. After finishing the last single crochet, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. Secure with a chain stitch. Stretch the loop. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut off. Pull tight. This yarn tail, use a crochet hook or a darning needle at home. Follow the fabric texture. Hide it on the wrong side. Look everyone, this is what the motif looks like after completing the first 6 rounds. It should be noted that, due to different crochet tension for each person, after you complete the first 6 rounds of a motif, you can slightly press and pull, or lightly iron flat. Then measure the side length. If it differs significantly from our dimensions, you need to adjust the tension. Re-crochet. Next, refer to the pattern. Refer to the previous demonstration. Complete all remaining motifs on your own. I will not repeat the demonstration. After completing all motifs, we'll now begin joining the motifs. First join the motifs around the 4 sides. Then join the motifs on top. The motifs around the 4 sides from bottom to top are row 1, row 2 and row 3. 8 motifs per row. The colors of the motifs are randomly distributed. You can determine according to your preference. Now, watch me demonstrate the joining method. First join the motifs in row 1. First, take one motif, right side facing you, at any corner position. Find the left stitch of the 3SC in 1. On the left side. Refer to the previous demonstration. Join the yarn at this stitch. Note: this sample uses different color yarn for convenient watching. To demonstrate the specific yarn color, refer to the pattern. Won't repeat this explanation later? Then, following the chart, make a chain. At the same position where you joined the yarn, work a single crochet. Mark the stitch. And then, chain 3 to join. Skip 2 stitches below. On the third stitch on the left side, work a single crochet. Chain 3 to join. Next, after every 3 chains, skip 2 stitches below. On the third stitch on the left side, work a single crochet. Follow this pattern. Continue crocheting. When you reach the corner, perfectly on the stitch to the right of the 3SC in 1, work a single crochet. Note: for convenience of explanation, we consider the stitch to the right of each 3SC in 1 at corners as the last stitch of one side. We won't repeat the instructions later. After finishing this stitch, chain 3 to join. Then, skip the middle stitch of the 3SC in 1. On the left side stitch, work a single crochet. Continue following the crocheting pattern for this side. Work normally. Reach the corner again, after finishing the last single crochet on this side. Chain 3. Then, turn this motif over. Take another motif with the right side facing you. Similarly, find the stitch on the left side of any corner. Work a single crochet like this. Then, chain 1. Then, on the previous motif, in the adjacent chain space on the left side, work a single crochet to connect. Chain 1 more. Skip 2 stitches here. Work a single crochet. For the rest of this side, crochet while connecting to the corresponding side of the previous motif. That is, after each single crochet, work 1 chain. in the corresponding chain space of the previous motif. Work 1 single crochet to connect. Then chain 1 more. The single crochets on this side should be worked with 2 stitches apart. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting. After finishing the last single crochet on this side, work 1 chain in the chain space at this motif corner. Work 1 single crochet. Then chain 1 more. Next, skip this stitch at the corner. Start working normally on this side. When reaching the corner again, since no connection with other motifs is needed here, therefore, work this corner normally, which means chain 3. Skip this stitch at the corner. On the left side stitch, work a single crochet. Note: for future corners where no connection is needed, work them normally like this. Next, continue working this edge normally. So the 3 sides of the second motif are completed. And it's connected to the first motif. For the next row, you need to connect 6 more motifs on the right side, using the same joining method as the second motif. Here, I'll demonstrate another motif with a swatch. After finishing the last single crochet on this edge, chain 3 to join. Flip it over. Take the third motif. Right side facing you. Note: every time you connect a new motif, the right side should be facing you. Next, work a single crochet in the stitch on the left side of any corner. Single crochet. Chain 1. In the chain space of the corresponding position of the previous motif, work a single crochet. Chain 1. Skip 2 stitches along this side, work a single crochet. Follow this pattern. Complete this side. Once done, match up with the chain space of this corner again, and connect once more. Then skip the stitch at the corner. Start from the stitch on the left side. Work these two sides and this corner normally. Now, the third motif of the swatch has also been joined. Next, refer to the joining method of the second and third motifs. Connect the remaining 5 motifs in this row by yourself. We'll not repeat the demonstration here. After connecting all 8 motifs in the first row, need to work the row above each motif. Before working, you can wrap these 8 motifs around the lampshade like this. Slightly pull the fabric. Just a little more will do. If slightly too big, you can take apart the joining sections. Take apart, crochet tighter next time. Note: the swatch here is crocheted with chunky yarn, therefore, it's larger. Below, I'll continue to demonstrate with a smaller sample using fewer motifs, mainly explaining the method. After finishing the right side edge of this last motif, this corner, and the edge above, are worked normally. Once completed, we reach the connection point between 2 motifs. Work a chain. Then, in the large chain space at the connection point, work a single crochet. Work another chain. Next, skip the stitch at this motif corner. Continue working the edge normally. Next, every time we reach a connection point, work 1 chain. In this large chain space, work a single crochet. Work another chain. Then, starting from this stitch, meaning skip the corner stitch, work the edge normally. Following this pattern, finish the remaining part on the left side. After completing this leftmost motif, there will be one side left. Leave this side unworked for now. Next, start working the top row, which is the second row. Work 3 chains. Turn. Take a new motif. Refer to the pattern. This motif needs to be worked and joined along this side. Please refer to the previous demonstration. Finish this side first. Note: every time you add a new motif from now on, the crocheting method here at the beginning will be identical. We won't repeat this instruction later. Complete. At the corner, you need to connect with this joining point. Work and join as you go, which means first make a chain. Then, in the single crochet stitch at the joining point, work a single crochet. If you can't find the exact position, just roughly crochet around the joining area. Make another chain. Next, skip the stitch at the corner. Work this side normally. Once completed, continue adding another motif. Join this side. Work and join as you go. When reaching the corner position, you need to connect with this joining point again. Connect once more, which means work a chain in sequence. A single crochet. The insertion position for this single crochet can be identical to the previous corner single crochet's insertion point. Work a chain. Once completed, work and join as you go for this side. At this corner, you also need to connect with this joining point. Connect. The joining method and insertion position. Refer to this demonstration. Work this side normally. Please complete these two sides on your own. I won't demonstrate it. The remaining motifs in the middle of this row. The joining method is identical to the second motif. Refer to this demonstration. Please complete the remaining motifs in the middle of this row on your own. This swatch is now completed. After finishing, the two edges of this motif at the edge. Same as before. Connect the corner to the large space of this corner. Then work this side normally. Once completed, refer to the crocheting method shown above in the first row. Similarly, complete this area above the second row. After finishing, Leave this remaining side unworked. Then, follow the joining method of the second row. Connect the motifs of the third row on your own. I won't repeat the demonstration. Once the 3 rows of motifs are connected, you need to join the left side and the right side. Work and join along the side. Here I'll continue demonstrating with a swatch. Make a chain. Then fold the right side toward the left. Pay attention, with their wrong sides facing each other. In the large space at the top corner, work a single crochet to connect. Then make a chain. And then, work and join along the side normally. When reaching such a connection point, first make a chain. And then, insert the hook into this chain space. And into the single crochet that connects this side. Work a single crochet. Then make a chain. And then, continue working and joining normally. When encountering such connection points later, follow this crocheting method. Next, complete the remaining parts on your own. At the end position, join with the corner. Then, into the stitch of the first single crochet, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Make a chain to secure. Stretch the loop. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail, cut off. Pull tight. Weave the yarn tail along the fabric texture, hide it to the wrong side. Up to this point, the joining of the 4 side motifs is completed. After completing the joining of the 4 side motifs, begin to join the top 4 motifs. Here I continue to demonstrate with a swatch. First, take a new motif. Join the yarn on the stitch at the left side of any corner. Then, make a beginning chain. At the same insertion point, where you joined the yarn, work a single crochet. Then work a chain. Next, take the join section. Place the wrong side of the top motif facing you. If you can't tell top from bottom, either end is fine. Then, work a single crochet in the chain space on the right side of any motif. Then work a chain. Next, continue crocheting and joining as you go along this side. Once completed, connect at the corner as well. Then, continue crocheting normally along this side. Once completed, add a new motif. This motif needs to be crocheted and joined to 3 sides like this. As you go. For the specific joining method, refer to the previous demonstration. Now, I've already crocheted it. Don't forget to connect at the corner here. Then, refer to the crocheting method above the first row of motifs. Crochet these 2 motifs above. Once completed, add another motif. This motif needs to be crocheted and joined to this side. Crochet this side normally. Once completed, add the 4th motif. First crochet and join 3 sides like this. Once these 3 sides are completed, next, refer to the previous demonstration. Connect the remaining 4 sides one by one on your own. For these 2 connection points, refer to the final part of the surrounding motifs. The joining demonstration on both left and right sides, which means inserting into both the chain space and the connected single crochet. Work single crochets. Once this corner is connected, on the first single crochet, join with a slip stitch. Tighten. Make a chain to secure. Stretch the loop. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut off. Pull tight. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. Now, the joining of all motifs is complete. The joining of all motifs is complete.